Welcome back. I'm now joined for some one-on-one by former member of the U.S. men's national soccer team and current Fox Sports soccer analyst, Stuart Holden. Stuart, welcome.
Thanks for the invite, by the way. I saw you had Alexi Lalas on here. I was waiting for the call-up, and my day came.
I hope you're ready to spar, because I am. But I want to get to Lionel Messi first. Let's listen to him announcing his retirement from the Argentine national team. I thought this was interesting and surprising.
Que ya está, se terminó para mí la selección. Ya, como dije recién, son 4 finales. No es para mí.
Shocked by this, Stu?
Shocked, yeah. Shocked, and as a soccer fan, I'm devastated because I love watching Lionel Messi, seeing him on the Argentine national team, seeing him at his peak, and those images yesterday, seeing him cry, were just crushing for sports fans. But I don't think anybody expected him to just straight up quit the Argentine national team. And this has become a bigger story than Argentina losing in a third straight final at this point.
He airballs a penalty kick. Is he being a quitter here? Is this an emotional decision after a very tough loss that he probably puts on himself? Is he being emotional here?
My initial reaction was yes, and he was being a quitter, but in reading more into it, there was a lot of drama going on with the Argentine Federation. And the president, it's come down from FIFA. They've asked him to step down. They're going to have new elections. Messi came out before the final, made a big statement on Instagram about the disappointment, the way the team has felt they've been treated. So I think there's more to it than Messi just walking away from it. I think this is a bit of a heat of the moment. This is a guy reading quotes from Sergio Aguero and other players on the team saying they had never seen Lionel Messi like this in the locker room after the game. And those pictures inside that locker room, if only we could have seen it, I can only imagine it would be Messi crying. It would have been this team crying, this team just completely devastated. So in a way, I can understand, well, he's thinking, I'm never going to get this win. And you see how much it means to him. So don't ever think that Lionel Messi doesn't need this to self-validate. I think we all recognize how great of a talent he is, but I think he needed an international competition win with Argentina to really go out and think, I'm the best that's ever played.
Oh, so you think this does impact his legacy?
I absolutely think it impacts his legacy, and I'll tell you why. Because we spent 4 or 5 weeks debating about LeBron James and whether, what his legacy was going to be like if he didn't win with Cleveland. Well, he shut up a lot of people. And in soccer, it's a little bit different because Lionel Messi, if you look at domestic titles and NBA championships in equivalent to soccer championships, Messi's got them all with Barcelona, Champions League, La Liga, you name it, he's won it, leading scorer. But in soccer, you represent your country a lot of times, and you're judged on that outside of just your own country. So you're judged around the world. And I think Messi, his legacy will always have a slight little dent on it if he does not win an international competition, whether it's a World Cup, Copa America, whatever it be. I think he needs that to just fully cement his place.
This could wind up, and I want to transition off this, this could wind up like LeBron James, though. He could step aside for 4 or 5 years, come back as an older player with the Argentina, and maybe get a big championship there. I want to move to U.S. soccer and the 4th place finish. I'm someone that thought Argentina exposed the gap, the serious gap between American soccer and the elite teams in the rest of the world. 4th place finish, is this encouraging, or someone like me says, no, the Argentina thing, that told the real story?
I think the Argentina one, I'm with you. It was a very humbling defeat, I think is the appropriate way to put it. But then you also look against Colombia. In the first game we played in the tournament, we lost 2-0, 2 set pieces. Then we played them again in the 3rd and 4th place game, which, say what you want about that game in consolation, whatever it might be. The United States showed that they could play with those teams. They actually had a number of opportunities where they could have won that game against a 3rd-ranked team in the world. So the Argentina gap is big. It's a big one, and it was exposed at its worst. But I think overall, big picture, if we step back, if we throw that game out a little bit, and that performance, I would say, this is a positive for U.S. soccer. Finishing 4th in the Copa America.
I started reading this weekend the book, The Talent Code. I spent a lot of time talking this weekend about soccer with some high-level soccer players. I'm someone that believes that we have a major problem in the U.S. in terms of developing the necessary skill to play at a high level with the top teams. I think our system is broken, and we're too often lying to our soccer fans and our team that we're really closer because occasionally we'll play an elite team close or occasionally we'll pull off an upset, but we really have a lot of work to do.
I think there is a mentality issue there. I think it is when you come up against the world elite, because these teams are not better athletes than us. We have some of the best athletes in the world in the United States. There's a combination of, when you get into these big games, it becomes about mentality, it becomes about that physicality, but it's also a know-how to win. And you saw that with Chile last night against Argentina. Argentina were the better team individually, but Chile were a better team put together. These guys, they were hunting in packs, they were closing things down, and we don't have that nastiness at times. We don't have guys that'll just throw all that out the window. Even against Colombia, you saw the guy who gets injured off the field, he jumps back on the field to roll around to gain a couple extra minutes, and that comes down to gamesmanship, and Jurgen Klinsmann said it. He said, we're too nice, and I actually agree with that in a sense.
I was talking to a former player. We got in a discussion about the game of futsal that started in Brazil. It's a street version of soccer that the kids in Brazil play and around the globe play, but we don't play here in America. It's 5-on-5 in a gymnasium. It's dribbling the ball in closer quarters, and that's where the skill comes from that we don't have. Our system, you're always playing on a big field. You're always shuttling kids out to the suburbs. This was a former black player that was telling me when he grew up in the city, he always had to drive out to the suburbs just to play soccer. Until we fix that, until there's street soccer like there's pickup basketball, I don't think our skill level is ever going to match the elite team.
Yeah, well, I mean, the United States has never produced a player of the caliber of a Lionel Messi or a Cristiano Ronaldo, a Pele, a Maradona, whatever you would say. They just simply haven't. Goalkeepers have been our best, and that's not a futsal-type skill position, right? I mean, that's the thing. And another thing, I grew up in the United Kingdom. I was born in the United Kingdom, so I grew up with soccer being held accountable, even from an 8-year-old. I'd come home after a game, my dad says, "You played like crap today." And it hurt me, but I needed that reality check. Whereas when I moved to the United States at 10 years old, 11 years old, if I had a bad game, it was, hey, good job, you'll get them the next time. So I think there needs to be a balance of, hey, being held accountable from younger ages, of not being told you're the greatest, of having to fight for that a little bit more and not always just be given everything on a platter. And hopefully, as that builds, there's a number of things, but I think that's certainly one that we can certainly change that attitude. And when we go toe-to-toe with Argentina, we look them straight in the face and say, hey, you might be better, but you're not going to beat us today. We're going to be nasty. We're going to kick you. We're going to make this so hard for you, and we can be one of the best countries in the world.
Stuart, thank you very much. Hope to have you back.